Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you are new. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into today's video. So first off, happy Juneteenth guys. I know by the time you guys are watching this, it'll probably be a few days after Juneteenth, but I really do hope you guys enjoyed the holiday and had a good time with your family and friends. So I know I've been gone for a few days and I just kind of wanted to take a little bit of a mental break and take some time for myself and just really enjoy my life more. But we are back in the swing of things and I'm ready to just sit down and do some nails. Before we go ahead and get started, I do have a few products from Born Pretty that they sent over for me to try, and let's go ahead and jump right into that. Okay, so here are all of the products kind of just strewn about. So I first just want to say I love working with Born Pretty so much. They're always so kind enough to reach out to me and send me some products to try out, and I just want to say I'm so very grateful to Born Pretty. I really do appreciate them. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and look at some of these products. By the way, I did go ahead and pick these out myself for a specific set that we'll be doing in today's video. The first product that we have here is Metallic Drawing Gel. This is kind of like the liquid version of the chrome powder, and I did get it in the color Cyberpunk, which is a nice silver. And I did go ahead and get the powder version of the chrome powder. Next up, I do have this really beautiful pinkish blue pearl powder that I will be going ahead and trying out in today's video. Next up, we have these nail foils, and I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up for you guys. So these are the nail foils. I believe that's what they're called. The reason I picked these out is because I do have a very extra and just complicated nail set that we're going to be doing today. I believe that the nail set used these, so I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and try and use these and see if it gives me the same effect. I did go ahead and pick up some nail foil gel. Is that what this is called? What is this called? I did pick up some foil. What is this called? Next up, we have just some nail foil gel. I did need me some of this. And next we have some nude gel polish, and let me go ahead and open this up so we can swatch it. So as you can see, this is what the nude is looking like. So here's what this nude is looking like once it's completely swatched. And I feel like I say this every time I try Born Pretty gel polishes. Their polishes are so smooth and creamy and they just glide on so nicely. But as you can see, the nude is definitely more on the sheer side. So this is something that you might have to build up if you want more of a opaque look, if that makes sense. And lastly, I do have some of these nail art brushes, and it does come with two different sides. So this is the first side and this is the second side. Okay, so that concludes all of the products that they sent me. Of course, thank you so much to Born Pretty for sending me these products and continuing to work with me. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into today's nail set. So here are my nails, and as you can see, they don't look that bad. That's because I did go ahead and groom them a few days ago. So I just went in and clipped my cuticles back and shortened the length of my nails. So really all that I need to do is go straight in with my matte peel off base coat. And for my peel off base coat, all I'm gonna need is some matte top coat and a little bit of cuticle oil. If you want your nails to stay on, definitely skip this step. For longevity, you really want to make sure that your cuticles are nice and pushed back and that all of the shine is removed from your nails. But I am just going to go ahead and pop them off anyway, so I am going to go in with my peel off base coat. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of cuticle oil and apply just a small amount to the center of my nails, and then I'm going to go ahead and rub this in really good. And I'm not gonna lie, most of the oil just gets rubbed into my skin because I don't want so much oil on my nails. You don't want it to pop off super easily. So once we have the oil nice and rubbed in, I'm gonna go in with 2 coats of my matte top coat. Okay, so here is my matte peel off base coat completely applied, and now we are ready to go ahead and glue on our nail tips. Okay, so I have all of my nail tips sized out and ready to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and cure them on using this matte top coat. And if you are wondering why I do cure them on using matte top coat instead of gluing them on with regular nail glue, that's because I want it to be able to stick properly on top of my peel off base coat, and glue just doesn't really work that well for this step. But if you aren't doing the pop off method and you aren't using a peel off base coat, definitely glue these on with some actual nail glue. Alright, so all of the nail tips are glued on, and now I'm going to go in with one layer of base coat just to make sure that once I go ahead and shape and cut these, that they're not like flying off. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut down my nails using my nail scissors. And in my last few videos, I have been using my tip cutters, but if I'm honest with myself, I'm not good at using a tip cutter and my nails always end up crooked. So I'm just going to use something that I actually know how to use. So when I'm cutting my thumb down, I normally just like make this pinching sort of motion. I do like to line up my cuticle on my pointer finger and my thumb just to make sure that they're actually the same length. And of course, this isn't like super accurate, but it's the closest that I can get. Okay, so my nails are nice and cut down, and now I'm going to go in with my 80/80 grit nail file just to go ahead and shape up the free edge. Alright, so my nails are fully prepped, and now we're finally ready to move on to the application. Okay, so for today's application, I am going in with a clear acrylic, although I will say that I don't think the reference photo used clear. But with that being said, I do think that this nail set could work for any base, whether that's clear, white, or even like a nude. I think that that would still look really amazing. So since we're on the topic of the reference photo, I do want to mention that this nail set is inspired by 404 Masked over on Instagram, and I've had my eye on this nail set for months, and I just never had like the courage to do it, and I didn't really understand what even was going on with the set. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should like actually try and see exactly like what I need for the set and like kind of get prepared for it. It's really funny because while I was like doing the nail art for this nail set, I really did not like it at all. It was just not turning out the way that I thought it would look. But in the end, I was so glad that I kept going and that I didn't give up and stop recording, because I normally do that whenever like the set isn't working out, and I'll just be like, you know what, maybe I'll just do this another day. But one thing that I am learning about content creation and, you know, just being like on social media more, it's like not everything has to be perfect. Like sometimes you have to have a few misses in order to get like a hit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely glad that like I kept going, because this turned out a lot better than I thought it would. But yeah, all in all, I really did enjoy the set, but I'm not gonna go ahead and like start rambling on for days and days and days. I will just let you guys watch the rest of this application. And if you are interested in knowing a little bit about how I apply my acrylic, I do have a few videos on that I will list in the cards above, so that, you know, if you're interested, you can go ahead and check it out. My application does vary a little bit depending on the length of the nail set and the products that I'm using, but for the most part, those videos that I will list in the cards, they are pretty much the basis that I follow when I do my application. But other than that, I don't have anything else that I'm going to talk about today. I will just go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of this application, and we'll be back to shape and file these nails. So here is the application 100% done. Don't mind these little air bubbles in this nail. The next thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is shape up the side walls and the undersides of my nail. And I'm gonna go in with my 8080 grit nail file. So before I go ahead and smooth out the surface, I'm going to go ahead and quickly seal my cuticles. And to do that, I'm going in with this drill bit here. So once my cuticles are nice and sealed, I'm going to go back in with my 8080 grit nail file just to completely file over the surface of the nails. And next, I'm going to go ahead and shape up the free edge and just make it a little bit more crisp. So the tips are nice and shaped up, but as you can see, it's still pretty thick. I'm just going to take this same drill bit to go underneath the nail and make it a little bit more thin. So here you can really see the difference. So the nail on the left is a little bit more C-curved, whereas this one is a little bit more flat looking. Also, this nail just looks a little bit more thin and crisp. This step is not 100% necessary, but it does make a huge difference in the outcome of your structure. And lastly, before we get into the nail art, I'm just going to quickly buff my nails. And for that, I'm just going in with a mini buffer. Alright, so we are finally done shaping these nails, and now I'm going to go ahead and quickly wash my hands and we'll jump straight into the nail art once I get back. Okay, so my hands are nice and washed, and now we are finally ready to get into the nail art. Random side note, I actually thought that these nails were clear, and turns out it's not, but like it's kind of like too late, so we're just gonna like run with that. The first thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is wipe off the surface of my nails with some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, so now that my nails are clean, we're gonna get into the first step. So the first step for this nail set is to go ahead and add that layer of the pearl powder. And to do that, I'm gonna go in with a layer of base coat. So now I think I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for a full 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna take this pearl powder and I'm just gonna go ahead and start to like rub it on. All right, so here is what that is looking like, and As you can see, it's like really like extra. I didn't expect it to like be this pearlescent, but I kind of like it. I don't know, it's really nice. So I did go ahead and rub that powder on before I wiped off the sticky layer, and I think for my middle finger I'm gonna try and see if there's any visible difference by like wiping it off. So what I am noticing is that it's a little bit more difficult to rub in once you wipe it off, and it's kind of like messing up my little applicator. However, it is a little bit more reflective. Like this one's more dull. This one is a little bit more shiny. However, I don't think that it's enough difference for me to do this for all of my nails. So I'm just gonna do this on this nail because I don't wanna ruin my applicator so much. Here is the difference, and I don't know. I think I might wipe off this nail and try it again, see if I can get the same effect that I got on my middle finger. I might just have to wipe the sticky layer off of all of the nails in order to get the same effect, because you can't really tell on camera, but it is definitely more mirror-like, and that's kind of the effect that I'm going for. Let's try this finger over and see if I can get the same effect. And what I might do is I might try using my hands, and maybe this might work a little bit better to like actually rub it in really good. Yeah, that doesn't do anything, so we're gonna go back to the applicator. So now, as you can see, this one is like super patchy. I've tried rubbing it in this area like maybe 2 or 3 times, and I don't really think it's gonna do anything. So what I might have to do is wipe this off again, do another layer of base coat, and then wipe off the sticky layer and try one more time. As for the rest of my nails, I'm gonna do what I did on my middle finger, and hopefully it works the exact same way. Okay, and before I move on, I'm just gonna go in with another layer of base coat just to make sure that everything is nice and protected before I move on to the nail art. Okay, so here is what it is looking like, and to be honest, I'm not exactly sure if I like it or not. I think what we have to do is just like keep going. So the next step is to glue on like these colorful shards, and for that I'm going to use some of these foil papers, and I think I'm going to go ahead and cut these into a few different shapes. Okay, so I have an assortment of pieces and these were really difficult to cut up, by the way. I don't have that much because I honestly don't think that they use that much in the reference photo. And I already know that I'm using these wrong. These are supposed to be used with the foil glue, but I think I might just glue them on with some base coat and like stick the entire piece on so that we kind of get like that 3D effect. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of base coat and lay it down where I want the piece to go. And I'm gonna take the little pieces and just like stick them on. I'm not too worried about the edges being super clean because I'm gonna go around it with the like chrome liquid powder. I think it's something like that. And honestly, this is probably not gonna look anything like the reference photo, but I think that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cure this down really quickly. So I have the pieces glued on and so far it's turning out to be very interesting. Okay, so the next step is to create the chrome border around these little pieces. And the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around this with a little bit of blooming gel. And if you have rhinestone glue, definitely use that. I'm just gonna put some of this onto my mixing plate. And I'm gonna go in with this side of this double-sided brush. And I'm just going to kind of roughly create like a little bit of a border, I guess. I'm gonna go ahead and cure this for a full 30 seconds. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with this liquid chrome powder and hopefully this changes the fate of this nail set. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this chrome powder and hopefully this will make it look a little bit better. And I'm just gonna go over some of these like built up areas. I'm not gonna go over every single spot because I do want it to look, again, like kind of rough around the edges. I think that looks kind of better than what it did look like before. I'm just gonna go ahead and cure this and I'm gonna do the exact same steps to the rest of my nails. So for this step in the nail art, it really isn't easy to describe to you what I'm doing because it's definitely very random and up to personal preference. I feel like it definitely is something where you just kind of have to play around and see what you like. I wanted to go for a more textured and rough appearance because that's what they did in the reference photo. But of course, a reference photo is just a reference photo and you can kind of play around with it and make it your own thing rather than copying exactly what you see. Even though I can't describe to you in full detail exactly what I'm doing word for word, I definitely do recommend doing 2 layers of that blooming gel and kind of making each layer a little bit different from each other to kind of build up texture in certain areas. And then after you have those 2 coats, you go in with your liquid chrome powder. This is probably the most difficult part of the nail art. Everything else after this is pretty simple. So if you can get this, then you can get the entire set as a whole. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire thing explained, kind of. I will go into more detail about what I'm doing later, but for now I will just go ahead and let you guys watch the rest of this bit. so far it's honestly starting to look a little bit better, and I'm kind of happy with it at this point. So now I'm switching over to a longer nail art brush just to create some stars. And we're also going to be drawing a butterfly on this nail. So I want something that's going to give me a little bit more stability. This is so cute. Oh my god, like this is so cute. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into this butterfly on my index finger. First, gonna start out by like creating the wing span, I guess. And I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, so here's the outline completely done. So now we're on to the more difficult part, and what I have to do is create like these little loops inside of the wings, and let's see if we can like pull this off. So this nail is cured, and now I'm going to go in with some more of that blooming gel just to create like these little 3D spaces in between these loops. Going to drop some into the little loop and drag it inwards. I'm going to flip it, and then I'm going to go ahead and flash cure this. And while I'm doing this, I'm making sure that I don't apply these little bubbles too close to each other because I don't want them to like flood into one blob. Okay, so I did about 2 layers of the blooming gel within those little loops. And as you can see, it's definitely 3D, but you know, nothing like too crazy. So the last thing that I want to do to go ahead and finish off this nail set is I want to add some clear blobs of the blooming gel onto my nails, just to give it a little bit of more texture. In the reference photo, I believe it's on the pinky, but I don't really have space to do it on the pinky, so I'm probably gonna end up doing it on my middle and my ring finger, possibly my thumbnail as well. Okay, so I went around and I added those little domes on my middle finger, my ring finger, and my thumb. That pretty much completes this nail art and I absolutely love it already. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this off with some top coat. Okay, so I did go ahead and wash my hands, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish this off with some cuticle oil. And that completes today's set. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this one. This set came out so much better than I anticipated. I just love all of the different colors and the reflections and how like mirrored it is. And of course, I love the chrome. You guys know I love chrome. This set definitely gives me ethereal vibes, but it also gives me kind of like the fairy core aesthetic and also kind of like galaxy vibes. And to be honest, I just really like love this set. Like it's so good. One thing I will mention is that I kind of want to like retry this and see if it works good on a nude base, because I feel like the clear definitely looked a little bit too different for my liking. Like it's still good, but I do feel like I want to try a different base just to see if it'll actually make a difference in the overall outcome. Of course, I would love to hear what you guys think of this nail set down in the comments below. Would you wear it for the summer or just any season in general? I honestly think that this could work for any season, to be honest. But as always, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you guys in the next one.